What's going on, guys? Alex Spins Vinyl back again with some more recent finds. I apologize now if the last video seemed a little rushed. I was trying to make sure the video didn't go over 20 minutes, and I realized that there might have been some stuff I left off, like reasons as to why I picked those albums up. But I don't really want to go into too much detail. I find that a bit boring. So instead, we are going to continue with my recent vinyl finds. Everything that you've seen in this video and the last video I did were all obtained within the month of October. Or Rocktober, as it is to some people on Instagram. But we're going to let that slide because I think it's actually a very creative idea and want to see what some people do for November. So without further ado, let's get into some recent vinyl finds. The first album I'm going to show is Philip Bailey's Chinese Wall album. This is the album that was produced by Phil Collins. Easy Lover is the song on this album that's probably my favorite, and it is his duet with Phil Collins. 1984 is the year on this, and this is one of his solo albums, probably my favorite one by him. I have listened to his other ones, not on vinyl, but in other means, and this is probably the one I would pick as my favorite. Next album is by Chico Hamilton, Nomad. I would say this is probably jazz funk, more so than just jazz. But he's a pretty decent drummer. 1980 is the year on this. This is an American pressing of this album. But it's not an import, weirdly. It's on the Red Electra label. Yeah, let's get this out and show you guys. The Red Electra label. Again, I don't like to show labels, but I'm going to show a couple here and there just because I know some people might be interested in seeing them. And you know what? It's a pretty good album. Loads of great drum breaks, and that's just what Chico Hamilton does. He's amazing. Love this album. Good work on that one. Next album is by Queen, and it's A Kind of Magic. 1980, I believe it's 1985, could be 86, but this is one of my favorite Queen albums, in all honesty. Actually, probably one of my favorite artworks of any Queen album, second only to News of the World with the giant robot, which is just fantastic. Inner sleeve, this is a British pressing, but it is unfortunately not the Queen album with the AA side. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll have to do some research. But there's A Kind of Magic that has a misprinted label where both sides of the label read side 1 and side one's track listing. But I haven't got that one, unfortunately. I've just got sides 1 and 2. But I've got the normal pressing of this, but it's fine. I'm not that bothered. I just want it to listen to. If I wanted to get the other one, that would just be a collection piece. And I don't like collection pieces. I just like to have things that I can listen to, and this is one of those albums. In honor of Rocktober, I picked up an album by one of my favorite bands, Led Zeppelin. This is Physical Graffiti. Not a perfect copy on the cover, unfortunately, but it is a British pressing. 1975's the... almost hit myself in the face with it. That would have been funny as hell. Anyway, this is 1975, and it is on the custom Swan Song label. The Led Zeppelin Swan Song label. Kashmir is probably the only reason I picked this album up. That song Kashmir that everybody knows. But, you know, it's just a fact. It is probably one of Led Zeppelin's, I'm going to say it, one of Zeppelin's better albums for sure. So, hey, there is that. Next one's an American import. This is Right on Time by the Brothers Johnson. American pressing, but an American import. 1977 is the year on this. And I love that Quincy Jones produced this album. He's produced a lot of the Brothers Johnson albums. There's the A&M label, American pressing, like I said already. But yeah, nice copy of that. And just a great album all round. I do like Brothers Johnson's music. I love funk, so of course picking that up is going to be, you know, just great in my books. I wish the inner sleeve was a little bit better, but there's nothing I can do about that.
Oh my god.
Got it, finally. But yeah, Brothers Johnson, Right on Time. Great album. Next album is a little bit different. This is The Best of the Art of Noise. 1988 the year on this. Great album. My favorite track from this is probably Moments in Love, just because it's so simple and so calming and relaxing, and it's just great, you know. And I do like the artwork on this album. I think it's fantastic. Wasn't too familiar with Art of Noise, which is why I went with a best of, but still a great album nonetheless, and definitely hoping to find more Art of Noise albums in the future. Next album I picked up is actually a jazz album, and this is Oscar Peterson in Concert. Another artist I wasn't too familiar with, but after picking this album up, I can safely say I will be getting more Oscar Peterson in the future. This is a double LP set. Some great tracks on here, actually, and I was quite surprised with how good this was, because I didn't know what to expect. But it's just a great album. This is an early reissue of this album, but fantastic nonetheless. Now, that's all the second-hand albums out of the way. Let's get on with the ones I picked up that are new, starting with this bootleg of Arctic Monkeys, Feeling Far Away. This is their live album that they did in Sydney, Australia. Of course a bootleg, but fantastic live recording, and Arctic Monkeys quickly becoming one of my favorite bands. So of course I'm going to make sure I have this for my collection, and it is just a fantastic album. Really, really is. It's got hits on here like Do I Wanna Know, Snap Out of It, Don't Sit Down Cause I Moved Your Chair, I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor, I Wanna Be Yours, Are You Mine. You know, all the best songs from Arctic Monkeys are on that album, so alright, bonus. Next album is probably my favorite Arctic Monkeys album. This is Suck It and See. This is their 2011 album. This has Don't Sit Down Cause I Moved Your Chair, Brick by Brick, Reckless Serenade, of course a UK pressing. There's the inside of the gatefold there. I do like that image actually, that's pretty incredible. Great album. Probably my favorite. I've said that already, but probably my favorite Arctic Monkeys album. Definitely a fantastic album, although their follow-up, AM, is another great album. This has songs like Do I Wanna Know, Are You Mine, Arabella, Mad Sound, Snap Out of It, Why'd You Only Call Me When You're High. Still a fantastic album, but I think I do prefer, there's the band there, their Suck It and See album, but still a fantastic album, very, very close in style to Suck It and See. Just a great, great album, and like I said, Arctic Monkeys are quickly becoming one of my favorite bands, so I'm going to make sure I pick up more Arctic Monkeys in the future. Next album is Alicia Keys here. Not an album, not an artist I'd normally pick up, but this is a great album. I listened to a couple of tracks and I was hooked already, so I just had to get it. Nas features on this album, A$AP Rocky's on here, and it's a very old school hip hoppy album, even though it's more R&B. Very simplistic album design as well. I love it. It is incredible. And Alicia Keys just has some amazing vocals on her. She's done tracks with Jay-Z, and that's how I came to know of her in the first place, and this is probably one of her best albums in a while, so I had to pick that up just for that factor of it. Next up is DJ Shadow's new EP. This is what's this called? The Mountain Has Fallen EP. This has the track Systematic featuring Nas, which was on the Silicon Valley soundtrack, but just a fantastic EP. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's fantastic, but it's definitely very good. Probably one of the best things DJ Shadow's done in a while. Next up is actually an album for the Stevie Wonder collection. One I've been looking out for a while and finally broke down and bought it. This is DJ Spinner Presents The Wonder of Stevie Volume 3. This isn't a collection of Stevie Wonder songs. This is more songs he wrote, featured on as an uncredited artist, and then covers of Stevie Wonder songs. But there are some great covers on here. Go Home is on here. Pastime Paradise. Don't You Worry About a Thing. Bet You Wouldn't Hurt Me by Quincy Jones is on this album. Buttercup by the Jackson 5 is on this album. There's the Inner. Look at that. That's incredible. But yeah, this is definitely a fantastic album. And another one I'm adding to my Stevie Wonder collection, because of course it would not be my channel if I didn't show off a Stevie Wonder album of some sort. Next up is Michael, excuse me if I butcher this name, but this is Michael Kiwanuka, Home Again. He is a great neo-soul artist. He has a great voice. I'll Get Along is probably my favorite track off this album, but it is just a fantastic album. He actually won the Mercury Prize a few years ago. This is his 2012 album. He won the Mercury Prize. I don't know when he won it, but I know he won it at some point. And this is probably my favorite album by him, so I had to pick that up. Great album, of course. Great vocalist. And next album is another one I've been looking out for a while. This is Malibu by Anderson .Paak. This album features artists like The Game. Talib Kweli is on this album. Schoolboy Q is on this album. Rhapsody's on this album. It is just a fantastic double album. There is not a single bad song on this album. And definitely one of Anderson .Paak's better albums. 2016 is the year on this, and it is just incredible. And I love the artwork as well, by the way. Especially on the back with all the girls there. Look at that. That's just fantastic. And the final album I got is actually one you guys have already seen on my channel if you saw my recent unboxing. But this is Nat King Cole and Me by Gregory Porter. His brand new album. In fact, let me take it out of the sleeve there so you guys can see it a bit better. There it is. And there again. I've already shown this off. I've had a chance to listen to it, and you know what? It is a fantastic album. So many good covers of Nat King Cole songs. Every song he's put his own spin on it. Nice blue there on the custom Blue Note label. But it is just a fantastic album, and you know what? I'm glad that I have this, because not only is Nat King Cole one of my favorite jazz vocalists, but Gregory Porter is one as well, and I'm so glad that this album came to be and I finally have it after waiting like a month and a half to get this. I finally have it, and this has great tracks on here like Nature Boy, LOVE, Pick Yourself Up. Even the Christmas song is on here, so yeah, just an all-round great album, and definitely one I would recommend getting if you're a fan of Gregory Porter, or even just a fan of Nat King Cole. One I would definitely check out. Alright, so that is going to do it for this video on recent vinyl finds. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys saw something that took your interest and maybe you want to go out and get it now. I don't know. But there are definitely some stuff, a lot of stuff here that is different to what I'd normally get. Some stuff that I would show off on my channel regularly anyway. So, hey, there you go. Hopefully something for everybody. But yeah, that's some more recent vinyl finds for you guys. And I hope to see you guys soon. Alex Spins Vinyl, checking out. Peace.